Some dreams are fleeting, mere echoes of daily life. But what if a dream could glimpse the future? In 1999, a mysterious Japanese manga quietly chronicled 15 prophetic visions. Decades later, one by one, they came true. Tragedies, disasters, even the deaths of celebrities. And now, the final vision looms. 5:00 a.m., July 5th, 2025. What does it hold? A massive tsunami, rising lands, dragons beneath the waves, or something even more unimaginable? Stay with us as we uncover the terrifying prophecy of 2025 and explore a mystery that has haunted generations. Dreams have fascinated humanity for millennia. They are windows into the mind, reflections of our deepest fears, desires, and memories. Yet some dreams seem to reach beyond the ordinary confines of sleep. They appear to touch the future, glimpses of events yet to unfold, as if time itself bends in the quiet recesses of our unconscious. These are the prophetic dreams, the dreams that whisper warnings, mysteries, or visions of what is to come. In Japan, the fascination with prophetic dreams stretches back centuries. In ancient times, people believed that dreams were messages from the gods or spirits, offering guidance, forewarning, or glimpses into fate. Samurai, merchants, and emperors alike would pay attention to dreams, recording them meticulously in journals and interpreting their symbolism carefully. The Japanese word for such foresight is yume no shirube, the guiding dream. It is a concept deeply embedded in folklore, literature, and even early scientific thought, where dreams were seen as an interface between the human mind and the mysteries of the universe. It was within this rich cultural context that Tatsuki, a young girl born in Kanagawa Prefecture in 1954, first began to experience something extraordinary. From the age of 9, she would awaken with vivid images and stories still lingering in her mind, more real than any ordinary dream. An old man with silver hair and gentle eyes would appear beside her, speaking of events she could not yet understand. These encounters were not fleeting, they were immersive, leaving an impression so deep that Tatsuki instinctively reached for her pencils and began to record them, capturing each image and sensation in careful sketches. Unlike ordinary children, who might forget a dream within hours, Tatsuki felt these visions pressing on her consciousness with a weight she could not ignore. Colors, sounds, even the subtle shifts of emotion were vivid in a way that blurred the line between imagination and reality. And over the years, patterns began to emerge. Some dreams foreshadowed small events, trivial accidents or minor coincidences, but others hinted at tragedies, public events, and natural disasters that would unfold years later. The mystery of prophetic dreams lies not only in their unpredictability, but also in the questions they raise. How can one mind glimpse the future? Are these visions truly supernatural, or is there a hidden logic woven into the fabric of reality that certain sensitive individuals can perceive? For Tatsuki, each dream carried both wonder and unease, an intimate reminder that the future was already whispering, waiting for someone to listen. In this chapter, we begin our journey into the world of dreams that foresee the future, exploring the delicate line between imagination and prophecy, and introducing the enigmatic girl whose visions would one day captivate the world. On a quiet summer day, July 1st, 1999, a small, unassuming manga quietly appeared on the shelves of bookstores in Japan. Its title was simple, The Future I Saw, and yet, within those 4 words, lay the seeds of something extraordinary. At first glance, the book offered little to attract attention. The cover was modest, the artwork rough, almost childlike, and the pages felt more like a personal sketchbook than a polished publication. There were no bright colors, no glossy illustrations, and certainly no celebrity endorsements. Yet for those willing to look closer, the manga held something far more compelling than superficial beauty. It was a chronicle of visions from the future. The book contained 15 dreams, each captured in pencil sketches and accompanied by brief, cryptic notes scribbled in the margins. Some pages depicted ordinary scenes, a street, a crowd, a room, but rendered with unusual detail or in an order that felt almost off-kilter. Other pages were strikingly vivid, strange landscapes or symbolic imagery that seemed to hover between reality and imagination. Numbers, shapes, and subtle hints were embedded in the drawings, like fragments of a code sent across time. At the time of its release, however, almost no one noticed. The book sold quietly, if at all, overlooked by critics and readers alike. But the true intrigue lay not in the manga's modest presentation, but in its content. Each dream recorded in Tatsuki's journal was a meticulous snapshot of the future as she had seen it. The timing of events, the small details of everyday life, even fleeting emotional expressions were captured with care. Some dreams were hauntingly detailed, like premonitions of disasters or notable events, while others were mysterious, almost nonsensical, leaving readers to puzzle over their meaning. In retrospect, the charm and the terror of the manga came from its subtlety. There were no dramatic proclamations or sensational claims. It was quiet, personal, almost intimate, a window into the mind of someone who saw the world differently, someone who could glimpse what was yet to come. And it is precisely this quiet nature that allowed the work to go unnoticed, quietly waiting for the world to catch up with it. The creation of the future I saw marked the beginning of Tatsuki's journey into the public eye, though at the time the journey was invisible. What seemed like a simple diary, a personal exploration of dreams, would one day become a phenomenon. The small manga, dismissed by many, held within it a chain of visions that, years later, would shock the world with their precision and foresight. In this chapter, we witness the birth of a story that would grow beyond its pages, a story that transformed from a quiet, overlooked sketchbook into a mysterious guide pointing toward events yet to unfold and leaving readers with questions that would haunt them for decades. Long before the world would recognize her as a mysterious seer, Tatsuki's prophetic visions first manifested in the quiet corners of her journals. One of the earliest and most striking of these occurred in 1976. On a chilly November night, Tatsuki dreamed of a man standing beneath the bright glow of stage lights. The music was alive, the crowd's energy palpable, yet there was an air of fragility in the vision. In her dream, the man's figure flickered as though caught between reality and shadow, and then, without warning, he collapsed. Upon awakening, Tatsuki felt an unease that lingered for days. She quickly grabbed her pencils and sketched the scene with painstaking care. The stage lights, the crowd, the man's posture, all were rendered with uncanny precision. At the time, it seemed impossible that her dream could foreshadow real events. Yet 15 years later, on November 24th, 1991, the world was stunned when news broke of Freddie Mercury's death. Television broadcasts and newspapers replayed scenes that mirrored her dream, the collapse of a larger-than-life figure who had dominated stadiums and airwaves. Tatsuki's sketches were a mirror of reality, a haunting testament to the predictive power of her visions. Her next significant prophecy emerged on August 31st, 1992. In her dream, she walked down a long, sunlit corridor, light pouring through towering windows. At the corridor's end hung a painting of a blonde woman cradling a child. The name Dana was inscribed across the canvas. Suddenly, a blinding flash of light, a crash of metal, and the cries of people echoed around her. The imagery was surreal yet visceral, embedding itself deep within her memory. 5 years later, on that exact date in 1997, Princess Diana tragically died in a car accident in Paris. The details were eerily aligned: the light, the sound, the chaos, even the symbolic presence of a mother and child. Those who later examined Tatsuki's journal were left in disbelief. The precision of these early prophetic dreams sparked a mix of awe, fear, and skepticism. To witness an event unfold years after capturing it in pencil sketches was a rare, almost impossible experience. For Tatsuki, These visions were both a gift and a burden. Each successful prediction strengthened the sense that the future was communicating through her dreams, yet each confirmation also deepened the weight of responsibility she carried. When these journals were rediscovered decades later, public reaction was profound. Online communities and enthusiasts pored over her sketches, analyzing every detail. The uncanny accuracy of the Mercury and Diana dreams cemented Tatsuki's reputation as more than an ordinary artist. She had become a chronicler of the impossible, a messenger from a future few could yet understand. In this chapter, we witness the first glimpses of Tatsuki's extraordinary ability, a talent that would evolve from quiet sketches in a diary to a prophetic legacy, leaving the world questioning whether time could truly reveal itself in the fragile canvas of dreams. Prophetic visions are often unsettling when they touch the personal or public, but when they foretell the raw power of nature, their weight becomes almost unbearable. For Tatsuki, this realization came vividly on a winter night in 1995. She dreamed of the earth itself fracturing beneath her feet. In her vision, the ground split open like jagged lines etched across a canvas. Dust and stone filled the air, choking the senses. Buildings she knew as familiar landmarks collapsed silently, as though some invisible force had yanked their foundations apart. The streets were fractured, rivers swollen with sudden floods, and the silence that followed was deeper than any darkness she had ever known. Upon waking, Tatsuki's first instinct was to record every detail. With careful, deliberate strokes, she captured the cracked streets, the fractured buildings, and the trembling earth. She annotated her sketches meticulously, noting the date, January 2nd, 1995, and a single line that would prove chillingly precise: "Something will rupture in 15 days." At the time, it was impossible to imagine that her dream could manifest in reality, yet the vision etched itself firmly in her mind, leaving a lingering sense of urgency and foreboding. 15 days later, on January 17, 1995, the Great Kobe earthquake struck Japan with devastating force. Centered in the Hyogo prefecture, the quake measured 7.2 on the Richter scale, and its intensity caught the region entirely unprepared. Nearly 6,500 lives were lost, and tens of thousands of homes crumbled under the relentless shaking. Roads buckled, bridges collapsed, and fires erupted across urban areas. Japan, a nation celebrated for its engineering resilience and earthquake preparedness, had been laid bare by the unpredictable fury of the earth. For many, the disaster was incomprehensible, a sudden nightmare of destruction. Yet for those who would later examine Tatsuki's journals, the alignment between her vision and reality was impossible to dismiss. The fractured streets, toppled buildings, and the precise timing of the event mirrored her drawings with unnerving accuracy. Japan lies along the Pacific Ring of Fire, a seismically active zone where tectonic plates converge and the Earth's crust is in constant motion. It is home to some of the most complex geological formations in the world, making earthquakes and volcanic eruptions an ever-present threat. Scientists have long studied the subtle shifts of these plates, but even with modern technology, predicting the exact moment of a devastating quake remains beyond reach. In this context, Tatsuki's prophetic dream becomes even more remarkable, a forewarning of nature's indiscriminate power. In witnessing the Kobe earthquake through her dream, Tatsuki confronted a truth that few can comprehend. The future can sometimes whisper to us in images and symbols long before reality catches up. And for those who follow her story, it serves as a chilling reminder that the line between vision and prophecy, between imagination and reality, is far thinner than we might ever believe. On March 11, 2011, at precisely 2:46 p.m., Japan experienced one of the most catastrophic natural disasters in its modern history. A magnitude 9.0 earthquake struck off the northeastern coast, unleashing a tsunami of unimaginable force. Waves taller than buildings swept across cities, swallowing homes, vehicles, and lives. Entire towns were erased, streets transformed into rivers of destruction, and the screams of thousands carried across the stunned silence of a shocked nation. The world watched in horror as footage of high-tech Japan being consumed by the sea streamed across screens, a stark reminder of humanity's vulnerability in the face of nature's power. Amid the chaos, a strange and unexpected story emerged, one that would captivate both Japanese and global audiences. Long forgotten, a small manga published in 1999 resurfaced on online forums and social media. Its title, The Future I Saw. People began to notice a chilling detail. One of Tatsuki's dreams, drawn over a decade earlier, seemed to depict the disaster with astonishing precision. Streets flooded with water, waves surging inland, and even a cryptic reference to 311 on the book's cover, mirroring the date of the catastrophe. It was as if the manga had quietly predicted the unimaginable, hidden in plain sight. Curiosity spread rapidly. Individuals and online communities meticulously examined every page, dissecting sketches and margin notes for clues. Tatsuki's prophetic visions, once dismissed as personal musings, became a focal point for discussion and debate. Could these drawings truly have foreseen the devastation? Or was it a coincidence amplified by hindsight? Regardless of belief, the impact was undeniable. A small, overlooked work had suddenly captured the public imagination, sparking a resurgence of interest in the enigmatic illustrator and her dreams. The tsunami itself left a trail of devastation unparalleled in recent memory. Entire cities were unrecognizable, transportation networks shattered, and the Fukushima nuclear plant faced a crisis that sent global shockwaves. The sheer scale of the disaster magnified the perceived accuracy of Tatsuki's vision. People could no longer dismiss her work as idle speculation. Her sketches appeared to resonate with the grim reality of the event, down to the subtle, eerie details. This alignment between dream and reality rekindled the world's fascination with prophetic visions. Discussions flourished, not only about the manga itself, but also about the nature of foresight and human perception. Scholars, enthusiasts, and casual readers alike debated the significance of her sketches, trying to determine whether the future had indeed whispered through Tatsuki's dreams. In this chapter, the 2011 Tohoku tsunami becomes a turning point, a moment when the quiet predictions of a single manga reached the consciousness of a nation and the world. It was the awakening of public awareness, a revelation that prophetic visions, whether coincidence or something more profound, could touch reality in ways that were both terrifying and mesmerizing. While the sketches and prophetic visions captured the world's attention, the figure behind them remained an enigma. Who was Tatsuki? When the manga The Future I Saw first circulated in 1999, readers encountered only the name, a brief, ambiguous pen name attached to a work that would later gain legendary status. No photographs, no biographies, no interviews. In a world increasingly connected by the internet, where information spreads like wildfire, the absence of a traceable identity only deepened the mystery. It wasn't until 2023 that Tatsuki herself resurfaced, reissuing her manga with additional details, annotations, and new dreams. She revealed that she was born on December 2nd, 1954, in Kanagawa Prefecture, Japan. Her early childhood, she recounted, was unremarkable, shaped by the quiet rhythms of post-war Japan. Like countless children, she found joy in painting and music, her days a mixture of school, family, and simple hobbies. Yet, beneath this ordinary exterior lay something extraordinary. From the age of 9, Tatsuki began experiencing dreams unlike any others, visions of events that had not yet occurred, whispered to her by a mysterious old man with silver hair and gentle eyes. These dreams were vivid, persistent, and impossible to ignore. Tatsuki's artistic style was born from necessity as much as talent. To capture the fleeting details of her visions, she turned to pencil sketches and marginal notes, producing work that was raw, intimate, and deeply personal. Each line of graphite, each hurried annotation, was an attempt to preserve a fragment of the future before it slipped away. This style, simple and unpolished, became a hallmark of her work, allowing the uncanny accuracy of her prophecies to shine through unencumbered by artistic embellishment. Despite the publication of her manga, Tatsuki disappeared from public view almost immediately. For years, she remained a ghost in the narrative she had created, leaving readers and online communities to speculate. Was she truly a single individual, or perhaps a collective of artists and visionaries? Some whispered that she might not exist at all, that Tatsuki was a construct, a myth designed to manipulate belief. The ambiguity of her identity fueled fascination and disbelief in equal measure. When Tatsuki returned in 2023, she offered clarity, but retained her aura of mystery. She shared personal details, recounted her early dreams, and expanded upon her prophetic work. Yet she refrained from public appearances. She became both accessible and elusive, a living testament to the paradox at the heart of her story. In this chapter, we explore the life of Tatsuki, not merely as an artist, but as a vessel for visions of the future. Her biography, her disappearance, and her re-emergence underscore a truth that captivates the imagination. Sometimes the messenger is as mysterious as the message, and the line between reality and myth can be as thin as a pencil stroke on paper. In the quiet hours of a July night in 2021, Tatsuki awoke with a start. Her body trembled, cold sweat clinging to her skin, heart racing with an urgency she could not explain. She had just experienced a vision unlike any before, a dream that was as beautiful as it was terrifying, a glimpse of forces far beyond human control. In her vision, the sea stretched endlessly beneath a sky the color of ash, devoid of sunlight, yet alive with motion. The water pulsed and bubbled, as if boiling from below, each rising column a harbinger of change. And then, from the depths, two enormous dragons emerged, twisting and writhing beneath the waves. Their scales shimmered with a spectral glow, moving with a sinuous grace, yet radiating an almost tangible power. They circled one another, guardians of a hidden force, coiling around massive pockets of rising air from the ocean floor. As Tatsuki watched, the calm surface of the sea erupted. A colossal column of water burst into the sky, tearing through the horizon like an unstoppable wall. Tsunami waves, 3 times the height of those that had struck Japan in 2011, surged toward the coast, dragging with them vehicles, buildings, and clouds of debris. And yet, even amid the destruction, something new began to take shape. From the churning ocean, land slowly emerged, rising from the depths as though awakened after a millennia-long slumber. Jagged cliffs and raw stone thrust skyward, shaping a new mass that connected Japan, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and the Philippines into a continuous stretch of earth. Wet soil heaved upward, water cascading down its sides, while the dragons circled silently, a mysterious symbol of power and creation entwined. While surreal, Tatsuki's vision was grounded in the geological realities of her homeland. Japan sits within the Pacific Ring of Fire, a volatile region where multiple tectonic plates converge, the Pacific plus Suez. 8 and the Philippine Sea Plate intersect in the waters south of Japan, a location prone to earthquakes and underwater volcanic activity. Such tectonic shifts can, in theory, displace the seabed, triggering eruptions and the gradual formation of new land, a phenomenon observed in recent decades off the coast of Nishinoima Island, where underwater volcanic activity created a small island that eventually merged with the main landmass. For Tatsuki, the dream carried both awe and terror. She understood the scale of what she had witnessed, not merely a catastrophe, but a transformative event, reshaping the world's geography and challenging humanity's understanding of nature. It was a vision of endings and beginnings, a reminder that in chaos lies creation, and that the forces beneath the earth are far older and more powerful than any human intervention. In this chapter, we journey into the 2021 dream, a moment where myth and science converge. Dragons twist beneath oceans, land rises from the deep, and a prophetic warning emerges. one that is as surreal as it is grounded in the geological heartbeat of our planet. While Tatsuki's visions of dragons twisting beneath the sea and colossal waves may seem fantastical, they carry a remarkable resonance with the real, living dynamics of our planet. To understand the plausibility of her dreams, one must first look beneath the surface of the oceans, into a world of constant motion and hidden power. Japan and the surrounding regions lie within the Pacific Ring of Fire, a horseshoe-shaped belt of intense geological activity where multiple tectonic plates converge. The Pacific Plate, the Philippine Sea Plate, and the Eurasian Plate meet in a complex network of boundaries, creating one of the most seismically active regions on Earth. Along these invisible fault lines, the Earth's crust is constantly shifting, grinding, and colliding, generating earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and occasionally, the creation of new land. Underwater volcanoes, or submarine volcanoes, are particularly relevant to Tatsuki's vision. When magma forces its way to the surface beneath the ocean, it can gradually accumulate layers of rock and ash, forming new islands over weeks, months, or years. In 2013, for example, just 500 meters off the coast of Nishinoima Island in Japan, an underwater eruption gave birth to a previously uncharted landmass. Within months, it expanded and merged with the existing island, quietly reshaping the geography without prior warning. Similarly, in 2021, the Kuril Islands, a contested region between Japan and Russia, experienced an underwater volcanic eruption that rapidly produced a new island. These events, though modest in scale compared to the apocalyptic visions in Tatsuki's dreams, demonstrate that the oceans are capable of remarkable transformations, proof that her imagery is not entirely symbolic. The dragons in her vision, twisting beneath the rising waters, can be seen as a metaphor for tectonic forces at work. The swirling Inaries, sky beneath the ocean floor, invisible to the human eye, moves and shifts with immense power, shaping the world in ways most never witness. Each bubble, surge, and upward thrust of magma in her dream mirrors the real-world movement of plates and volcanic activity, reminding us that the Earth is alive, unpredictable, and capable of sudden, transformative change. Tatsuki's visions thus exist at the intersection of myth and science. The dragons, tsunamis, and rising lands may evoke awe and fear, but beneath the fantastical imagery lies a foundation rooted in reality. Subduction zones, underwater eruptions, and shifting plates are not merely theoretical, they are observable, measurable, and have repeatedly altered coastlines throughout history. In this chapter, the mysterious and the scientific converge. The prophetic dreams, once dismissed as mere fantasy, are now illuminated by geological understanding. The Earth's hidden mechanisms echo the power and drama of Tatsuki's imagination, suggesting that her visions, while surreal, could indeed be glimpses of the extraordinary forces shaping our world. Beyond the striking imagery of dragons twisting beneath churning waters and the emergence of new land, Tatsuki's dreams are rich with symbolism, a language that speaks not only to the eyes, but to the mind and spirit. In her 2021 vision, each element carries meaning, layered and complex, inviting interpretation as much as observation. The dragons, colossal and serpentine, are perhaps the most enigmatic figures. In Japanese folklore, dragons are creatures of immense power, often associated with water, storms, and the forces of nature itself. They are guardians, harbingers, and agents of transformation. In Tatsuki's dream, the dragons coil around rising pockets of water, suggesting both control and chaos, embodying the immense energy beneath the earth, while also acting as symbols of vigilance and awareness. They may represent humanity's latent understanding of forces far beyond its control, the invisible threads that shape existence long before they are seen. The bubbling sea, meanwhile, is a vivid metaphor for latent disruption. Water is traditionally associated with life, emotion, and the unconscious. In her vision, the ocean is alive, boiling and surging, a tangible reminder of forces building beneath the surface. It symbolizes the unpredictability of nature and the hidden tensions that can erupt suddenly, reshaping landscapes and lives. Yet water also carries the promise of renewal, washing away the old to make room for something new, a duality of destruction and rebirth that has echoed throughout prophetic art for centuries. The rising land itself is perhaps the most profound symbol. Emerging from the depths, connecting Japan, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and the Philippines, it represents creation and transformation. It speaks to the cyclical nature of existence, where endings carry beginnings and catastrophe births opportunity. The imagery resonates with the mythological seas, one sept of the world being constantly renewed, echoing themes found in apocalyptic literature and prophetic paintings, from Nostradamus's cryptic illustrations to medieval visions of cataclysm and restoration. Historically, prophetic art has used symbolic imagery to warn, inspire, or instruct humanity. Visions of dragons, floods, and upheaval appear repeatedly across cultures, suggesting that such motifs are archetypal, psychological and spiritual reflections of humanity's awareness of vulnerability and resilience. Tatsuki's dreams, though modern in origin, are part of this continuum. They are at once personal and universal, blending individual perception with timeless symbols of transformation. In interpreting her visions, one must approach them with nuance. They are neither simple predictions nor mere fantasies. They are visual narratives layered with meaning, inviting reflection on human fragility, adaptability, and the eternal dance between destruction and creation. Tatsuki's dragons and rising lands are warnings perhaps, but also invitations, reminders that within chaos lies potential, and that the world, like her dreams, is both terrifying and wondrous. Among all of Tatsuki's visions, none carries the weight of urgency and inevitability like her final prophecy. It is precise, measured, and chilling. 5:00 a.m., July 5th, 2025. A moment in time, she claims, when the forces of nature, seen through the prism of her dreams, will reshape the world. The anticipation is almost unbearable, for unlike previous visions that could be dismissed as coincidence, this one arrives with the clarity of inevitability. In her mind's eye, Tatsuki stands high above the southern seas of Japan. Below, the ocean appears unnervingly calm at first, a deceptive mirror to the brewing chaos beneath. Then the water begins to stir. Massive pockets of air rise from the ocean floor, churning and boiling like the cauldrons of an ancient, invisible engine. And from the depths, the dragons emerge once more, twisting and coiling with a power that is both terrifying and majestic. The symbols of nature's force take shape in their motion, guardians and destroyers intertwined. Suddenly the sea erupts. A colossal tsunami, 3 times taller than any witnessed in recent memory, ascends into the sky. Its crest carries clouds of dust, fragments of human structures, and the echo of millions of lives caught in its path. Entire coastlines are threatened, cities imperiled, and the world watches helplessly. Yet, amid the chaos, new land rises from the ocean, jagged and raw, stretching toward Taiwan, Hong Kong, and the Philippines. A testament to creation born from destruction, a reminder that endings often contain beginnings. This vision is both apocalyptic and transformative. It is a warning, a message, and perhaps a test of humanity's preparedness. As we consider the prophecy, questions arise that are impossible to ignore. Are we ready for forces that move beyond our control? How do we confront events that seem predestined, yet still demand human action and awareness? The dream leaves space for reflection, not despair. In the aftermath of such upheaval, life would endure. Civilization might adapt, rebuild, and emerge with a deeper understanding of the planet we inhabit. The suspense is palpable because the moment is approaching, and yet it exists in a realm between certainty and possibility. Tatsuki's prophecy blurs the line between dreams and reality, challenging us to consider that what we often dismiss as imagination may, in some form, be a signal from the world beyond our perception. The dragons, the tsunami, the rising lands. These are not merely images, they are calls to attention, reminders of the fragile balance between human endeavor and natural power. As we await July the 5th, 2025, Tatsuki's final warning lingers like a whisper across the waves. The future may arrive unannounced, shaped by forces both seen and unseen, and within that unknown, humanity must find resilience, awareness, and hope. Perhaps the greatest message of all is this: in chaos, there is opportunity. In destruction, there is creation. And in dreams, there may lie the most profound truths yet to unfold. Tatsuki's visions leave us questioning the line between dreams and reality. July 5th, 2025 draws near, and the world waits. Will her prophecy unfold, or remain a haunting symbol of human imagination? Whether you believe or remain skeptical, one thing is clear: the power of foresight, the mystery of dreams, and the forces of nature are more intertwined than we often realize. If this story captivated you, dive deeper into the world of mysteries with us. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to explore the unexplained, the prophetic, and the astonishing stories still waiting to be uncovered.